Thank you very much for that. Thank you all so much for being here. It's really an honor to be with Poetry. I really think this is a unique organization. It's a unique collective, and I think that spaces like this, we need more spaces like this, where people can just go up here and speak their truth and be seen and validated for that. And so I really commend the collective for being able to cultivate that and to bring that to Edmonton. So after that long-winded introduction, I came to poetry and performance because I needed something to explain away my experiences and to make sense of what was going on inside of me. And so, I try and use performance now as a platform to talk about different issues, complex social issues, and today I'll be talking about mental health, because that's where my career path is, and that's where my second book, A Billion Burning Dreams, is all about. It traces my journey from mental health patient to mental health professional. And so, that's sort of the journey that we'll be following today. There was, a trigger warning mentioned at the beginning, and so I'll be talking about some things which may be a little intense, but I think it's really important that we have these conversations. Back in the States, stigma is still something that is people struggle with every day, and so I think having a platform like this is just a small way to dismantle that. I wanted to start off with a piece which is relatively new, and it was written in kind of reflection of my childhood experiences, which I'll talk a little bit more about. It's called The Cure Mentality. And it comes out of this idea that people on the autism spectrum, some people believe they need to be cured. And I'm not one of those people. I think people just need to be seen and respected for who they are. And so this is called The Cure Mentality. I was born a broken tinker toy. The pieces of my mind configured to not fit quite right. Great divides separating synapses whose dendrites reached like desperate fingers for siblings falling away. Those hands held secrets, neurons whispering, I am not broken. Doctors tried to fix me up, patch up the perfectness of my disorder, fed me medications that damned the divides between my skittering nerves, but they only served to flood the majesty of my Grand Canyons because my mind wasn't falling away. It was flying. When you strip away the bells and whistles of our brains, rearrange the cogs and play with the knobs, you'll discover the world has changed. The mind is just a filter through which reality is fed. What you see is one of only many worlds I feel inside my head. This moment has a texture. Every sound has a voice. I can't read the furrows on your face because my brain can't filter out the noise. Your social cues confuse me. But do you know all the names of the president's wives? I can rattle off to you the history of music between 1932 and 1989. I obsess, I know, but there are patterns everywhere. Let me describe to you the streets of London, even though I've never been there. Don't be scared. I'm not. I don't talk much because my brain can't stop to think. I promise you, I'm in here, kept warm by the stimming I'm swallowed beneath. My mind is hyper-aware of the world. That is the gift that I have been gifted to over-perceive the subtle vibrancies that permeate existence, you see. That blue is not the only blue. Numbers have feelings too. I know I can't control this world of mine, but neither can any of you. Because I was born a broken tinker toy, but no physician could force my pieces to fit. The way the light dances off of my Grand Canyons could never be muted by medicine. You can't cure me with me. My perfection does not exist on a spectrum. You don't know the comfort of a repetitive movement. My light is always bright. Whole worlds exist between my gyri and sulky. If you're wondering where I am, I'm playing there. I'm flying. Thank you. So my childhood consisted of being carted from doctor to doctor and from clinician to clinician, just trying to figure out what was going on. I didn't have the language to explain what I was experiencing, and the word autism wasn't a household word at that point. So it took a long time for clinicians to figure out what was wrong with me. And so, I have a lot of memories that are sort of fuzzy, and I struggle with trying to make sense of them. And particularly when I got to my teenage years, just like trying to claw through everything and make sense of this deep sense of loneliness and not being understood and pain. That was when I really started finding poetry and writing and realizing that expressive language could help explain these, the unexpressibility of emotions sometimes and their complexity. And so folks have been sharing like older pieces and pieces that are sort of like in sort of the hashing out stage. And so the next piece I'm going to share is called Stigmata. I wrote it when I was like 14, and it's gone through like many different iterations. And it comes from that place of I can't make sense of what I'm experiencing in this moment and these images that are sort of flashing all the time. So, you know, so this piece sort of speaks to that. And it's just, again, there's some language in here that's a little harsh. But it's just trying to get at what I'm experiencing. So this is called Stigmata. Sick plasma with sick knights fighting for a crown, a black jeweled ornament, a crimson shroud. I filed my teeth down with a spoon, bathed my blood in a storm cloud, washed out the needles, liquefied the dreams, found the dust I lost long ago. It seems as though the weather in my heart is snow, but if you pull back the bow and release my vision, split the jury, kill the music, shoot down the pigeon, it was a lake. A dark lake I dipped my feet into and let the tentacles drag down what I thought I knew, tore out each hair like a petal and made a wish, tied a noose out of the fibers, and with the stragglers I stitched back together all the valentines, made a sail to fly me back to a better time. I roamed the streets at night screaming, singing songs the devil taught me while I was sleeping as a child. I built a crib out of Ouija boards, tied a string to my finger and slit my wrists with a deck of cards, cleft tongue. No eyes, no speech, just fucked up and out of reach, weighed down by gravity, short of breath. I can't breathe! Bring on the machines, the lights and synthetic sounds that protect me. Candles in a dim room, casting shadows that I talk to, third person, intuition, vague view of fuzzy memories that appear to me to be true, playing games with no winners, traversing a maze with no escape. I raped my youth when I found out I was a sinner, surgeon of a mass future, cutting up the past to tape it back together on a reel to be reviewed, previewed. I knew you, recalled and bequeathed the toy chest for death, regressed into a chicken heart, snapping wishbones, cupping eyelashes, blowing flowers apart. I was a skeleton-clad boy, glass-wrapped McCoy, a match in a windstorm of my own ploy. It was a black day, a white day, a day of deceit. It was the day I found the holes in my hands and feet. Thank you. So, no, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, so I might be running back and forth with the water. But so the first piece you heard, The Cure Mentality, is in this collection of Billion Burning Dreams. That second piece is not. But the collection traces, again, my mental health journey from patient to professional. And at the beginning of the book, it opens with for those who heal and for those who hurt. And what I mean by that is for those who are in the process of healing, who are trying to figure out how to heal, as well as those who have taken it upon themselves in their career to be the healers. And for those who hurt, or for those who are currently hurting, and for those who hurt others as well. Because I think that, hurt people hurt people. And so it's recognizing that this is a journey we all take, whether or not we want to or not. And so, I'll be sharing 3 more pieces from the collection. The next piece I wanted to share is where the title of the book comes from, A Billion Burning Dreams. So as I started figuring out what I wanted to do with my life from a professional point of view, I figured that out yet. Looking back at these memories and trying to make sense of them and realizing I wanted to give back. And so I have the very great honor of working with people with severe and chronic mental illness who are some of the most resilient, brilliant human beings I've ever met and continue to meet. And so the piece, Mania-Melancholia, deals with bipolar disorder. Now, I've never had that formal diagnosis, although I've had many diagnoses. But working with people, and I know a lot of poets have a bipolar diagnosis. And it's just an interesting disease to work with. And my experience has been is that we need less medications and more empowerment. And so that's what the piece speaks to. And again, I think we can all learn a little bit about what it means to feel like you're either on fire or frozen from moment to moment. So Mania-Melancholia is broken up into 4 parts. 1. There is a storm cloud that follows me around, a shadow that sits inside my shadow. A veil that blurs the world into a stupor, a filter, static and grainy, rose-colored glasses with lenses so dark they make the eyes wish they were blind. The storm holds no rain to nourish, only murky uncertainty. It sulks, pregnant and bloated with doleful diseases, stillborn spirit that blots out the eyes with ink so they cannot see beauty, love, or any semblance of vibrancy. My sun has been punched out, bruised, so black and blue that it cannot feel its own light, that it wishes it were the moon so it could sleep. 2. This is productivity, endless energy, the kind of certainty that can turn dust into a masterpiece. No time for time, no need for sleep, the unstoppable fury of a billion burning dreams, the kind of fuel that only blood can be, a high that only God could reach. I wrote a novel today. 300 pages in an hour. I invested everything I had into a promise no human being could ever keep. Nothing matters. Everything is possibility. I can transform anything into anything. Monotony meant to feel divine. I erected a kingdom today. But tomorrow, I will burn it to the ground. 3. My sky is a schism. The kind of knife that has 2 sides. Sometimes it slices with such precision it segregates, takes away the things I need to feel. Other times it minces life so finely I can only taste everything with misplaced clarity. My inner light can burn so bright it blinds the eyes, or flicker so dim they squint and struggle to find anything worth saving in the dark. 4. I'm a sky. Sometimes I feel endless, parsed out into an incomplete forever, just inadequate enough to wonder, to question, one number away from infinity. Other times I feel congested by gray cumulonimbus guillotines that slice and cut away, that prune, that shut out everything. A fine line of firmament separating the intoxication of my sun from illuminating the world. These fickle clouds, my clouds, can be corralled, contained, lassoed with a leash to be kept at arm's length. The light that hides within is a tool, a gift that can guide, a fire that can ignite and destroy everything, but only if I let it. Thank you. Just 2 more pieces. As I appear now, which is basically just a hot mess, or a hot mess with limits. Basically, like the way my mental health manifests mostly now is anxiety and disassociations that just sort of like pop up whenever they want to. And I've had to learn that my mental health and the relationship I've built with it is that it stops and starts. I have periods where I feel really great, and then I have periods that are really, really, really hard. And that's okay. Everybody's journey looks different. And I'm still here, and I think that's more than a lot of people can say. And so I just want to communicate again clearly that we all struggle, and wherever you're at and building a relationship with your mental health, whether or not you have taken that upon yourself, we're all in it. We all experience it in one way or another. And so in this collection, I have 3 poems that are all entitled Dear Anxiety, and they're all letters that I've written to my anxiety to try and build some kind of symbiotic relationship with it, to try and understand, to try and communicate to this thing that shows up whenever it wants to. And so I wanted to read the first piece in the collection entitled Dear Anxiety, and I'll just dive right into it. Dear Anxiety, You can't drive a knife into my heart by stabbing me in the back. I've been living off secrets and panic attacks, cuticles and paranoia, biting the skin from my bottom lip, banana peels strewn across my path to keep my self-love bruised, begging. This David and Goliath match has set everything on fire, and neither of us is willing to let the smoke settle to see what's worth saving. Old friend, you have been living on cinder and kindling, yearning for the taste of kindness, for the blood of your sibling. Perhaps the point is to forgive instead of kill, to comfort instead of destroy. I always thought you were a monster, but now I think you're just a boy who was never understood. Pinocchio was made of wood and his nose grew when he lied, but he wanted so desperately to be real. Maybe you were made of lies, and you grow every time I tell myself that they are real. Thank you. So again, this is my second collection of poems, A Billion Burning Dreams. It's all self-produced, and each one is hand-bound. I'm selling copies of them today. It's $10 US.
Only $10!
Well, if you want to give more, that's great too. Again, breadth and poetry, you guys are amazing. But listen, if you're not able to get a book today, just come and have a conversation with me. Building community, meeting new people, being able to look at another person and...
I got you.
Building community and meeting people and having the opportunity to just look at another person and see them is what I've built my career on, and it's just, I love people, even though I'm still trying to figure out how they work. So come have a conversation with me. I want to learn more about you and your work and what you've got going on in your life. And so I have one more piece that I'm going to share. It actually appears kind of going backwards. The first piece I shared is later in the book, and this one is a little earlier. And it's called If I Looked Like What I've Been Through. And we've all been through stuff. We've all perpetrated things. We've all been survivors of things. And I think, I wonder if we all looked like what we've been through, how much we'd be able to empathize with one another more and have more compassion in the world. And spoken word, I believe spoken word is an act of love, and it's an act of kindness that really has the potential to change systems and policies and make people's lives better. And so, when I interact with folks, either in my practice or just my regular life, I think to myself, God, what would this person look like if they've been through? They wore all the things that they've been through on the outside. And so I encourage all of you to think about that. Think about where you've been and what's happened and how you've gotten here and how that's contributed to who you are. And to just recognize that we all have that. And so, again, thank you all so much for having me here, and I'll end on this piece. If I look like what I've been through. If I look like what I've been through, out of the face of a woman and a man contorted into a kind of in-between. Delicate, masculine, with eyes that pierce and lips that tempt, with a jaw of glass that slices like obsidian and a brow that collects beads of sweat, where ideas fall to their deaths. If I look like what I've been through, I'd have a heart where my brain is supposed to be. I'd have a brain where my heart is supposed to be, and they'd constantly be switching, thinking, feeling, fighting for what is right, and I they're able to decide who is winning. If I looked like what I've been through, I'd be dressed in a three-piece straitjacket, with cufflinks, dressed to the nines in a canvas tux with the images that cloud my mind painted on. It's a metaphor for my artistic fervor, my former affliction transformed into a brilliance no less insane. If I looked like what I've been through, I'd have cuts so deep in my wrists that my hands would bend back as if attached with hinges. I'd have Bible pages rolled up and tucked inside the veins, unfinished poems, dollar bills that I'd unroll from time to time to remind me to hold on. If I looked like what I've been through, my blood type would be ink, and you would see it coursing in sentences and verses just beneath my skin. If I looked like what I've been through, my skin wouldn't be able to tell you what race I am, but you would still judge me out of the misplaced morality of a Christian, the pantheon of a Hindu, the hope of an atheist, and the history of a Jew. If I looked like half as much as I've been through, I'd only be half a person. An incomplete masterwork, a magnum opus loaded only with dummy bullets. I wouldn't have half the passion that bleeds tears like beads of sweat from my gaping pores and rivulets of syntax that I dab with loose leaf paper to preserve what I've been through. If I looked like what I've been through, you wouldn't even see me. You'd only see the things that make me me, but they are not me. You see, I am so much more than just what I have been through. I am infinitely stronger. You are all infinitely stronger. You are all worthy of love, and thank you all so very much for allowing me.